and welcome to a brand new episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. I'm Corinne and I'm here with my co-host
Maggie.
And it feels like a long time since we did this.
It does.
It's only been a couple of weeks, but the sun is out, the weather's changing.
And I think because the last one we filmed over Zoom, it just felt a little
That's
different.
right. It did feel different. And thank you. Yes, it was just a cold, but in an abundance of cautiousness, caution, we decided that I would record from home. So thanks for putting up with that. It actually worked out pretty well, I think. Yeah. So we're back together, which is great. The shop is bustling and jam-packed out there. We have a lot of J&S cones right now at the time we're recording this, and they're about to go on sale. And we hope that we'll have some left, but we'll get into that. Yeah. So why don't we announce the winner, Maggie? I love it when you read the winners.
Oh, okay. So today's the first winner is Ellen Henry, and she said, "Thank you, Rachel, for answering my question about your dogs. I guess some folks are just free spirits, right? I've got 2 horses and 5 cats. They've all got me very well trained. Indeed, haha. Love your sheepy names and how they all knew who they are. As always, Corinne and Maggie, thank you for creating this space and filling it with wonderful content. Truly a community."
Aw, and who's that again?
This is Ellen Henry. So, Ellen, you are a winner of a $25 gift card. Email us at info@thewoollythistle and put prize winner in all caps in the subject line.
That helps us find you nice and quick and get that out to you as soon as possible.
Yes.
So thank you, Ellen. That was a lovely comment. And yes, talking about Rachel, she's not in this episode. She was in the last one, but we will be hearing from her again. And I think spring is actually springing there, which is good.
Yes.
This episode,
I was going to say, if you would like to be eligible to win a prize on our next Shopcast, leave a comment here on this Shopcast. Be sure to like and subscribe the video.
Give us a thumbs
subscribe
up.
to the channel, like the video.
Yeah. We pick winners at random, and all you need to do is what Maggie just said, which is leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Which, by the way, have you noticed how many people we have?
We're close to 13,000. Super close.
Yes, it's crazy. Yeah. Crazy. So thank you for that. Please do keep tuning in and watching. We love hearing from you. Your comments are really great. And we do try to reply to every comment. Last week was a little off. It was a little crazy around here, I think. Yeah. But typically we do reply to every comment. So thank you for leaving your comments. And you get in the prize drawing, which is fun too. We're going to talk about what I'm wearing today first, because I think there's going to be some excitement over here about this from everybody. But I'm wearing an oldie, not that old actually. This I didn't even knit. This was knitted by Carolyn Holbrook, who designed this, and she gifted it to us at the Woolly Thistle. We actually have kits for this, and it's knitted in Tuku fingering, which is so soft and scrumptious. It softens up really nice. It really does. It's beautiful. I love wearing this around my neck. And if you can see there are thistles in the lace work. My hair gets everywhere, Maggie, I know.
It's a human thing.
And so this is a lovely scarf. It's a triangular scarf, and it's got some texture along the way, and it's got this lovely little picot edging, which is nice. It's not I don't know. Yeah, it's a little, I think it's a picot. Yep. So I'm wearing this today, and I'm loving it because it's just really nice. Actually, I'm going to leave it off now.
It's always really nice to feel how the wool. I wish we could do.
I know.
Feel-o-vision. Because it does. Like when you knit with Tuku, it does feel a little crisp in the game.
It does. And but this is softened up and just is so drapey and soft.
I don't think I've knit with Tuku for like color work mittens
at a tight gauge.
At a tighter gauge, so I've not knit it yet at this gauge.
Gauge is a magical thing.
Gauge is magical.
It changes things for to make it what you want. So I'm very appreciative, Carolyn Holbrook. Thank you very much. You're the woolly needle on Ravelry with 2 L's, same as us. And she designed this. She also designed a sweater with the thistles in the yoke. So go check her out. We do have some yarn sets for this as well in the Tuku fingering. We still have some in different natural shades. And I think there's one in H28, which is that lovely mauvey pink as well. So I'm enjoying wearing that, but I'll not fuss with it right now. So Maggie, what are you wearing?
I am wearing my finished Love Note. So I finished the Love Note.
Love Note number 2.
Love Note number 2. This one's using Jagger and Rauma Plum together. I didn't.
You're inviting people to touch you. You know that, right?
So I did bracelet length sleeves on this one.
It's so cute.
Which the pattern calls for.
Yeah.
And,
how quickly did you knit this?
Like a couple weeks.
A sweater in a couple of weeks. Fantastic.
I did get, at first I was not quite as monogamous, but
you got more monogamous?
Yeah, really once it really goes, it's a fast knit. I'm not typically a fast knitter.
Yeah.
But really, you know, the yoke goes pretty quickly, and then it's just...
Well, so it's another case of a fingering weight yarn being knitted at a looser gauge, plus you're holding it with mohair, so it is going to knit up faster. It matches
and this
your
one,
eyes.
I followed the directions properly on this
Oh,
one.
good.
Like, the fit is good on my hand spun one.
Yeah.
But I don't remember going up to, like, a size 10 needle.
At all? In that one? Did you in this one?
And this one, I swatched, and I liked the gauge better on a 9 than on a 10.
Okay.
But it's still to gauge. Like, I think it's 4 stitches.
You just got it on a smaller needle than
Yeah.
recommended. But that is something to really pay attention to, is when a pattern says use US 10, what it's saying is that's what they recommend to get the gauge. What you need to do is swatch and make sure that you get gauge no matter what the needle size is. It doesn't matter. It's how you knit.
And I used to think that, like, close was close enough. I got, with a size 10, I had like 3.5 stitches. And it's hard, like, I did swatch in the round, but then...
What's the gauge supposed to be? 4?
4 stitches.
Yeah. So 3.5 is going to be half a stitch too big every inch.
Right.
And if you're knitting a circumference of, let's call it 40, that is 40 half inches. That's 20 stitches. Which is like 2 inches too big.
Right. Like,
that's how it works.
In my brain, I think it's only half a stitch.
I know. But is that
I think
multiplied?
It's not that much, but it is. Incremental differences make a big difference.
They do. And we can talk a lot about that if you want us to down the road, because I know I have fudged that.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, when I was trying to design my Victory cardigan, that whole one, number 2, the prototype got scrapped because the gauge went off.
Yeah. And I think too, keeping in mind, I used to always have to go up a needle size, and now all of a sudden I'm finding I'm having to go down.
So you're becoming looser?
I guess.
You're more relaxed. It's because you love your work.
That's what it is.
It's
gotta be that. But I think just repeatedly checking over time, like making sure.
Even through the same project.
Yeah.
You know, just because you got gauge in the swatch has nothing to do with whether you're going to still achieve that same gauge at the beginning and the end of a project. So it is worth,
between the body and the sleeves.
Yes. And actually, Kristen Drysdale, who's Scandi Work, talked about that in her interview. We'll put a link to it down below. She talked about how everybody that was test knitting her sweaters had to go down a needle size for the sleeves, or up. Was it up or down?
I don't remember.
It was a change anyway, because it's a smaller circumference and the gauge just naturally changes with all of the knitters that were testing it.
One thing I'd like to test, and we're currently out of stock on them, Chowgu makes some shorties, and I've seen some people in our Facebook group talking about how they love them.
Yes.
And we need to reorder, and I think I'm gonna grab a set, because even working on these sleeves, like I think I could see the value of just doing smaller circumference needles and going around.
That's so interesting. So I've always been a magic looper, which I've been happy with for yonks, and I've never done DPN knitting except very occasionally on like a little toy or something like that. Right. And I'm starting to find it's fine with my Chowgus, but when I use different brands of needles, the cord is getting really in the way. And I'm starting to think that maybe I need to try some DPNs or something for socks or sleeves or the smaller set, something like that, because I am noticing I'm kind of getting fed up always having to like move this cord.
I feel like it breaks my groove. Even on the tapestry cowl, I'm doing it magic loop, and I feel like it's breaking my I've got a good flow going on the color work, and then I have to move the needle.
And it does take some time to get organized again. And I never pulled the working yarn from the back needle to the front, because I don't want to get that ladder. So I always put maybe 3 stitches back on the right needle from the back, so that I'm always knitting flat.
Right.
I've always done that. It's just it just avoids a lot of ladder issues for me. So there's a lot of, and I'm fine with it. I don't know. I just, I think things change over time. Like you're becoming a looser knitter. I'm sort of getting curious about DPNs. It's good. It's all good.
It's funny. I have certain things I like DPNs for. I do quite like for my gnomes, they're almost always knit on DPNs.
I think I would, yes, because it's tiny, you know.
Unless I'm knitting a big gnome.
Yeah. But yeah, trying to do magic loop on tiny circumference or, you know, a tiny gnome or something would be, that would drive you insane, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sweet too because I have a pair of my grandmother's DPNs.
Oh.
And those are oftentimes what I'm knitting toys on.
Yeah. I have been knitting on straight needles as well for a couple of patterns that I've been doing. You know, like which I forgot to bring, my scrappy blanket.
Oh, yeah.
I knit that on straight needles and I'm always just throwing it away. Like when I, you know, you turn around, just throw it away. Because that's what you can do with,
and then you're like, oh,
yeah, with big circulars.
To get it?
No, she's okay. But
that's good.
But she does go for the yarn. So yes, we've had issues with that. She's getting better though. She's older than she was. And a little bit better behaved. So anyway, chat on.
So anyway, that's my love note. We are going to work on putting yarn sets together.
Yes. So this was knitted in Jaggerspun yarn and Rauma fluff.
Yep, Jaggerspun heathers and Rauma Plum.
So a little match made in heaven. I mean, the pattern's not written for those particular yarns, but that's why you wanted to knit. This was to see if it would work, and you were really curious and excited. And it came out gorgeous. And I love the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does. It feels really nice.
It really does. It really does. It's so fluffy.
Yeah.
It kind of spoils you for non-mohair knitting.
I don't know. I think we'll always love non-mohair knitting here, but
but this is a nice treat.
I will say too. So using the yardage called for in the pattern, I used. I only needed 2 skeins of Jagger, and you can see I've got quite a bit.
Yes, you do.
Left here. Sorry, easily distracted. So I've got, this was the moss colorway, and
how many balls?
I needed 2 and just barely into the 3rd. So I did need to, I finished up the
Isn't it amazing? Because this is 25 grams.
It just keeps going.
So you use just over 50 grams of mohair.
Yep.
And this is 100 grams. So just over 100 grams, but together the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, quite a bit of the, you really do go into the second skein of Jagger for,
and
I think I knit a size small. I don't remember.
That's true. You're teeny tiny.
So we'll put yarn sets together and,
yeah, we will. Really They're not ready yet. I think we have to get some colors in and make everything perfect. We will announce that in our newsletter when they're ready.
Yeah. So make sure you're on our newsletter, getting our emails, because the minute these are ready, we'll put them in the shop.
Yeah. Sounds good. Do you have any other FOs?
I do not. This is it.
Strangely enough, this is an FO. Yes, I don't have any FOs either. I do have a whip right now, which I can show you if you like.
I mean, I have plenty of other whips, but they've not been getting any attention, so they look the same.
So I think the last time I showed you this, it was just 1 ball of yarn. Now it is just 2 balls of yarn because I only take 1 ball home for, I don't know why. So I'm going to take the rest of it home. But you have
set aside.
I have. It's sitting right over there. And it's this color. It's Rauma.
Just so we don't all worry for you about
I know. Well, we can talk about that when we get to Tina's. But this is Rauma Vams 403, which is another green. We're feeling very verdant, I think.
Spring, I think.
And this is going to be my Victory cardigan in green, which I'm very excited about. So that's just two balls.
Wow.
And I'm knitting the 4th size, so I'm right in the middle of the size range, really.
I love your coordinating barber cords.
Oh, I know, right? And look, I'm using, I don't know what needle this is, but it's green and it had to be used. So I think this is something I got in I don't know where I got it, but anyway,
I found it. It almost looks like a Tuku.
It's not though.
Green.
Yeah. Yep, I don't know where it came from. And so I've done the bust shaping on both front side seams, and now I am not doing the waist shaping. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to just knit it straight, maybe add a little bit of an A-line so it's nice and you know.
A little swingy?
Yeah, I might have a little COVID/winter weight extra that I didn't have before. And I think I'm going to do an I-cord bind off, or an applied I-cord all around all the edging. And then I think I'm going to use the Norwegian clasps.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. And then it's going to be fitted up top. It's not going to be gaping in the back, but it's going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about this and getting to change it up a little bit. And I just love this color. It's like your color. A little bit brighter, I think.
Yep.
But the green,
it's a good green,
the juicy greens and all the juicy colors, because the world's coming to life out there, and I'm so excited for it. Didn't know I needed it as much.
Slowly but surely, it is happening.
Yes, it is. It is. So yeah. And you didn't bring any other whips?
I didn't bring any other whips.
Okay. Okay.
I will say, I partly, like, I'm going to get back to the vanilla fluff. I am really excited.
Well, yes, that's looking good.
I can see in our Facebook group, BJ's knitting the same color as me right now. She's surpassed me.
I saw that.
But it looks so pretty. It looks great on her, too.
Yeah, VJ, we love you here. I saw that you did, she ended up doing the little picot edge. Yeah, which was really nice. So, did you do it in the Rauma? Maybe she did it in the Rauma. I don't
remember. I'd have to go back
and
look.
the Finullgarn. Yeah.
I looked like 2 days ago.
Because I applied mine with the mohair, but you could do it with the Finullgarn and the mohair held together. Maybe she did that. I'm not sure.
Remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But anyway.
But I need to get ready for our hap cowl too. Like, I've not swatched. I've not done anything.
It starts today. When this goes live, you can be casting on. And what did you just say? You haven't?
I haven't.
Neither have I.
I know I'm going to knit the Hansel. I'll knit the half hap, but the larger size.
Yeah, I'm feeling tempted by that too. There is another one.
I've been tempted by our kits.
Oh, I know. They're
I'm
great.
like, no, stop.
I know. Well, I purposefully have just been like, I will find that time where I open my mind. But I was on Ravelry looking at our bundle of hap suggestions, and Gudrun has quite a few in there.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it's called now, but there's one that starts with just a single stitch. It's a Brooklyn tweed pattern, and it's trees. It's the tree motif, and it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's a big triangle.
So pretty.
That's really nice. Yeah. So it's between that and a Hansel.
I've not knit the Hansel, and I've been wanting to knit it for years, but we have a alternative color, or woolly thistle colors that we put together.
Which, thank you, those are doing really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Then I need to make up my mind. But there's one with like a teal background. Yes. Man, I love that color.
Yeah. I think that one's been really popular, actually.
It's so pretty.
I think if I go with the Hansel, I'm going to go with pinks and greens. Because I just love pinks and greens together. And I'm really into green right now. I'm in my green phase, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm usually in a blue phase, but I've been in a very green and lots of
reds. Yeah.
Yeah.
They look good on you, though. They all look good. They're all fun and wonderful. So, well, quickly before we move on to what's in the shop, Tina.
Yes.
Wonderful Tina, who joined the Woolly Thistle years ago and was my right hand for a long time. Now works part-time and slowly became a knitter and has gotten totally hooked.
Yes.
She knit a couple of hats, I think, and then she knitted a vanilla sweater also in green, which we've shown pictures of. We can put it here. Just a beautiful sweater that she knitted. And then I come to find out today that Tina knitted this. This is the Feather and Fern by Jennifer Steingast. And she's knitted it in Donegal Irish heather, sorry, in which is an Aran white. And she has done, which I love, she did the color work in Let Lopi, and it looks fantastic. They're both the same white.
Yeah.
I think Tina is fairly fearless, and she just wanted to get knitting, so she used what she had, and it worked out wonderfully. However, she has a cautionary tale, and I told her I'm going to share this. She doesn't have this yarn left to knit the last sleeve because she didn't get enough, and it's now sold out.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we can get her this dye lot when we replenish our stocks, but don't do what Tina did, which is not buy enough.
Yeah.
We're all rooting for her that we can get this for her. But isn't this great? And she's got her lifeline there. This is knitted top down, and she put a lifeline in before she started knitting. I think she was worried about knitting short rows for the first time.
I think so.
But she's done a beautiful job.
I will say we invited Tina to come and chat about this herself.
We tried to get her in here and she wouldn't.
She said, no, thank you.
She said, no, thank you, in very, very strong tones. So, but she said we could talk about her beautiful.
It's so pretty.
And it's got a lovely rolled edge neckline too. Yeah, it's really pretty. She's a great knitter. So
do you know, I'm not familiar with the pattern, so I don't know if you pick up stitches after, or does it stay with a rolled neckline?
I don't know. I mean, it's doing such a good job as a rolled neckline really that I'm guessing it could be. I would leave it like that if it was me. She could always as well adjust this to be a sleeveless sweater. If we can't get this, we could suggest that. Just do a little cuff and she's finished. Yeah, so I wanted
Hopefully we can get it.
I hope we can. But, we wanted to show, this is her like third or fourth project ever. Yeah. And
Tina's always so good about being meticulous and just sort of following the steps, making sure she understands it.
But she's also pretty fearless because she went and put Let Lopi in with a yarn that I wouldn't have thought would work. But it does.
Yeah, I remember chatting with her about it, and she said, "Well, I just figured I'd try it and see how it looked." And she's like, "It looks so pretty."
Then she couldn't stop. It was like, "Well, just one more round."
I remember she came in and she was like, "Is that wrong? Should I not do that?" And I said, "There's no rules. Do what you want.
Do what you want.
Pretty. Keep going.
Keep going. If it's working, keep going." So yes, inspiration here, as well as just props to Tina. She's done a beautiful job. Yeah, and I hope that we can. Get that lot number.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's see. We've got another prize winner.
Yeah.
We have to tell you what's in the shop, and there's so much to talk about as usual. And we have Emma with us, and we have Caitlin with us, and we have an interview with Marie Wallin. So I hope you're comfortable because we're going to be here a while. So should we jump over and talk to Emma now? Emma of Tiny Knits?
Yes, and actually Emma is also wearing her love note.
It's a thing.
She's knit, I think, like 7 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, seeing some of hers, I was like, I really need to knit one of those.
Yeah, maybe I need to knit one too. I know I do.
So fast.
So fast and very easy to wear and looks good.
And yes, and I've heard from other, like I know I watched Rachel of Wencke Pearls.
Yeah.
And she said she went to Knit City one year and everybody was wearing love notes because I think it had just fairly recently released.
Yeah.
And she said the amazing thing about it was it looked great on everybody.
Yeah, which is really a good thing.
It is.
That is a good thing.
Very easy to wear.
So what is Emma talking about?
She's talking about haps.
Oh, wonderful. So let's go to Emma and then we'll scoot right back and we'll start telling you what's in the shop as well as announce another winner.
Hi everyone. I'm here today to talk about some haps. And I'm also wearing one of my Love Note sweaters because I've really enjoyed watching all of the conversations around the love notes and like using some of the woolly thistle yarn to knit a love note, which is on my list because I've only ever used like merino singles and mohair to knit love notes, but I think I want to try knitting one with like, Rauma Finullgarn or Jameson & Smith or Jaggerspun like Maggie's doing held with mohair because I think it would be really pretty. And yeah, this one's a little crazy. It's bright red and orange, and I used partial skeins of red and orange yarns and red mohair. And it's nice to wear it somewhere where it's just not like crazy in the wild because people stare at me if I wear this sweater out. It's so bright. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about some haps today. One thing that I wanted to talk about was like, if someone is maybe newer to knitting and is a little daunted by the idea of knitting a hap, I found a pattern that I think would be a really good place to start if you're interested in trying out lace and shawl knitting and that kind of thing, but you're like, that's way too much, a hap, too much lace, haven't done that before. Maybe like, let's dip my toes into the water before I decide down the line, maybe I want to try knitting a hap. So I have a shawl here that is, it's a little stretched out. It's not knit in like a woolly yarn. It's knit in a fingering weight yarn that's very drapey. There's a lot of alpaca in it, but it's got, you can see it's got these lace eyelets, and then it has these little mesh lace sections, more eyelets, more mesh sections, more eyelets. It just kind of keeps going until you get to the end. And then there's a little picot bind off that if you want this to be really pronounced, you can actually block this with T-pins to open up that lace. I did not do that. I might do it. next time I wash it. And essentially what happens is that this side stays flat, and on this side you increase 1 every time you get to the end of this row. So every other row, it's knit flat back and forth in garter stitch. You increase, you just knit front and back to increase all the way down. And this shawl is called Ieri, which is Italian word for yesterday, and it's spelled I-E-R-I. And it's by Maria Lacole. And it was inspired by like her trip to Italy. I think her trip to Florence, Italy is on the mood board. There's all this like beautiful terracotta color. Hers was in kind of a terracotta pinky color. Mine is in kind of like this is naturally dyed with indigo and some other plants. I did not dye this yarn, so I don't know, but it's really easy to wear. I'm gonna put it on so you can see, especially in a long drapey yarn that kind of stretches. The tails grow a lot, it's easy to wear, but this would be really easy to wear in any kind of like shawl yarn from the Woolly Thistle as well, like Jaggerspun or Daughter of a Shepherd or Garth and Orr's lace weight. That would be thinner. Any of those, Jameson and Smith, Heritage, even a woolen spun yarn, probably totally fine. So it's really wearable, as you can see. You just kind of put the point here and throw the arms, what do you call these, the wings, over your shoulders. It just kind of sits. Looks great. It's just kind of nice and cozy. So this is nice because there's no purling. So if you, like me, don't really like purling that much, this is a great option. And it's just kind of nice if you're new to lace, because these eyelets are like really simple. It's just a yarn over and knit 2 together or slip slip knit. So you're going to be practicing decreases, both left and right leaning, and yarn overs. And that's it. And then the mesh sections, you're just doing knit 2 togethers and slip slip knits with yarn overs in much more rapid succession. And I just find this it's a simple pattern. If you're an advanced knitter, it's still a nice pattern because it's a really easy thing to just kind of take with you. You can easily save the pattern. If you buy it, you can just kind of save the pattern on your phone. It's just 1 page. And so much of it is just garter stitch back and forth until you get to the next eyelet or mesh section. So that's great. Folds up nicely. You can really use any yarn. This used just under 1 skein of fingering weight yarn, like under 100 grams. So you could probably get this, depending on your gauge, if you're if you use a lot of yarn in your knitting. Not really sure what affects people using a lot more yarn, because if you knit loosely, the stitches are bigger, but you're not necessarily, the piece will be bigger. I don't know. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. You should be able to get this shawl of 1 skein of fingering weight yarn, 100 gram skein. So Jaggerspun, great. Jaggerspun's a good option because it's got high yardage. It has almost 500 yards in a skein. So you will almost definitely have plenty left. You can even knit it a little longer if you want. It's very customizable. Okay, so that's kind of like dip your toes into the shawl hap world of lace, see if you like it. I think it's a good option for a newer knitter. So this is a hap that I knitted a couple of months ago, and it's the Balvraid hap. I was really inspired by Corinne's Balvraid, and I thought it was beautiful. So I made it in Daughter of a Shepherd Heritage. This also took less than 1 skein of yarn, just under 1 skein of yarn. It weighs 97 grams, and a skein is about 100 grams. So this is the traditional Shetland hap. Mine is the small size. I think Corinne's is the big one. So you start with this triangle, this garter stitch triangle, and I've got an example. So just wait, it's exciting. And then you do this, you pick up these yarn overs, which you can't really see. They're on there you can see, they're on the very edge of the triangle here. You pick those up as stitches, knit through them and create new stitches. And then you've got a bunch of stitches on your needles all around the edge of the triangle. Then you start this lace pattern here. Along the edges, you're increasing at the edges and in the center. And then when you're done with that, in this one, there's 4 repeats of this lace with garter stitch. It's hard to see it because it's dark brown, but you can see those ridges in between the little lace sections if you look closely. Those garter stitch or purl ridges, I guess. In between each lace section, there's 4 lace sections, and then when you're done, you do something called an applied border, which is this edge lace pattern. And an applied border is really fun, and it's not as hard as you think or as hard as it looks, because you're just gonna keep all your stitches on the needles. You're gonna cast on, I think this one had 18 stitches in the applied border. You just cast on 18 stitches on a separate needle that's the same size. And when you get to the last stitch of the row, you knit the last stitch together with the next stitch on your needle of the shawl border. And then you work back, and then you work towards the shawl again and knit the last stitch with the next stitch of the shawl border, if that makes any sense. It might not make any sense, but when you do it, it is actually not very difficult. I think it takes a little patience because there's like 250 stitches in your shawl and you have to knit or 100 and something, I don't know, whatever. Let's say there's 250 stitches in your shawl border at that point. You're gonna have to knit this row or this 500 rows of applied lace because you're gonna have to knit there and back. But it's also garter stitch, and every other row is just plain knitting. So it takes a while, but pace yourself. And I would say that my best advice for the applied border is be careful. It's usually like I don't know how many stitches, I think it was like a 20 stitch or 18 stitch or row pattern. So be really careful about your yarn overs, and like pay attention while you're knitting that, because I often found that I didn't have enough yarn overs and I kind of had to fudge it, and you can't tell because you can still tell that these are applied diamonds, applied border is diamonds, and it worked. But I think I would have maybe next time just counted a little more carefully when I was just paid more attention with my yarn overs. So this is a small Shetland Hap, or a 1 skein Shetland Hap. This pattern is free on Ravelry. It's called the Balvraid Hap by Rita Taylor. I think it's for blacker yarns. Also wearable. This one's a little, the wingspan's not quite as, it doesn't have these long skinny wings like that Yeti shawl does. So sometimes I actually will tie this underneath. If I don't want it to move, I'll just kind of tie it under the bigger triangle, and I'll just kind of adjust it. But yeah, it's really cozy. If you like to wear wool on your neck, like woolly wool, not everyone does, but do try washing it. Give it a real block. And one tip that I have for blocking a woollier wool, that not everyone does, but I sometimes do this to make it softer, is I'll actually put a capful of hair conditioner in the blocking water with my wool wash. And if you have hair conditioner that smells nice, that's a bonus, but you can also, sometimes it softens up the yarn a little more. And you can continue to do that as you continue to wash that piece later. It just softens with wash, wear, and a little hair conditioner. So this, as I said, I would show you an example of what the triangle looks like. And so for the Hap cowl, I am knitting a big version of a Hap, Shetland Hap. So I'm actually gonna pretty much stop here and wait until the cowl starts, because I don't wanna knit more than a third of my Hap before it starts, because those are the Hap rules. Cowl and Hap. Say that 5 times fast. So this is a bigger one, and I'm not quite to the end of the triangle, but I am almost to the end of the triangle. And you can see if I hold, maybe I'll just hold this up again so you can look. So this triangle is this big. This big. This one is quite a lot bigger. So what you do to get a bigger Hap is you're just gonna keep going. So for this triangle section in any traditional Hap, that's shaped like a triangle and not like a square. I've never made a square Hap, so I can't tell you if this is true about the construction for that. But you're gonna just start at the point of the triangle with 1 or 2 stitches, And to increase, you do yarn overs along the edge at the beginning of every row. So I actually like, most patterns will say yarn over at the beginning, but I like to knit one and then yarn over just because it makes me able to see the yarn overs a little bit better, and it will create a little bit of a ridge in the back when you're picking up those yarn overs, which you can see if you look closely at this one. The ridge is there, but it doesn't really bother me. I like it. I like that it has a right and a wrong side. That's more obvious. So you just knit until the pattern tells you either for the small size, or if the pattern includes a large size or a medium large size, it'll say stop when you have this many stitches. You should have this many yarn overs along each edge. So I'm just like gonna keep going until the bigger size. So to make the smaller one, you just stop earlier. There's not a whole lot of difference. You're just in the whole pattern, there's not a whole lot of difference. You're just doing more knitting for the bigger one. So this dark red color is from John Arbon, and it's called Harvest Hues. It's not a yarn that's widely available. I actually had to order it from John Arbon because I really wanted to try it, and it's fingering weight. However, I don't see why you couldn't knit one of these in John Arbon Yarnadelic, which they have at the Woolly Thistle. Yarnadelic is a little heavier. It's a sport weight, and it's a little rounder because it's Corriedale. The wool is from Corriedale sheep from the Falkland Islands. And whereas this is a merino and swartblaz yarn, but it is, I think that would make a really nice hap. It'd be kind of like a little bit of a bigger hap because the yarn's a little bigger. It's a little bit like heavier of a yarn weight. And you might want to get an extra skein just in case you're a little worried about running out. But I think that would actually make a really nice choice. Or John Arbon Devonia, which is the other kind of more widely available John Arbon yarn that the Woolly Thistle stocks. They have Devonia fingering weight yarn. And that would make a beautiful hap as well. So this is going to be the Woodcut Shawl by Kari Westerman, which is from her collection called This Thing of Paper. And it's a collection of patterns, so you have to get them all together. And they're all based on manuscript studies, which is really cool for me as kind of a nerd. And she based them all on like different parts of reading a manuscript, or like different things that make up a manuscript. So this is called woodcut. Woodcuts were used when manuscripts were made, which is like basically you cut something, you have a block of wood and you cut little pieces out, and it's gonna either be like a letter or a little picture or a shape, and you can stamp with a woodcut. And the shawl is similar to the Balvraid hap. It has an it does have an applied border, but before the applied border, there's a big lace section and then an applied border. And this one is fully garter stitch. So that's one of the things that drew me to this. I actually saw somebody had posted that they made one with their Daughter of a Shepherd yarn from the Woolly Thistle box. And that's where I saw the pattern because the Woolly Thistle reposted it. So that was really exciting. So I'm really excited to get started with the hap cowl and to kind of get into like the actual lace knitting of the hap. But I'm gonna put it away for a few weeks so that I get to be hap knitting with everyone else. And I'm really excited about that. And maybe I keep telling myself, oh yeah, I'll finish that one and then I'll cast on a Hansel Hap because I really want one of those too. And I have so much Shetland yarn and scraps and stuff. It would be great, but we'll see, because I always say don't bite off more than you can chew. But my plans are a lot more exciting than whatever actually happens in a cowl, I find. So give yourself give yourself like a reasonable amount to do in a cowl. Give yourself reasonable expectations. That's a new thing for me. So this has been really exciting. I'm super excited for the hap cowl to start. And it's great to talk to you all. Bye.
So we're back, and Emma, thank you so much for that wonderful segment. That was great. And we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, or actually in a couple of episodes again. Yeah. And so shall we announce another winner?
Yes.
Okay, you go.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
All
okay.
right. So this winner is Amy Jo Metzendorf.
Hi,
can't wait for the hap cowl to begin. I'm looking forward to watching all the interviews. Also, I broke down during this video and bought the Harris Tweed Project bag in gray. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Had my eye on this one these last weeks, and this tipped me over the edge.
Yes.
We're so happy to give you that little extra push. I think you'll love that bag.
Yeah, I actually have got mine right here. It's a purple one, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're lovely, and I love the feeling inside.
I know. My sister was over this weekend for Easter, and she was knitting a sock. She had her bag.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. What color?
I bought her a pink bag.
Nice.
She's a pink gal, so I bought her a pink
Same
one.
as me. Yeah. Well done, Amy Jo. So yes, just send us an email with winner all in caps in the subject line, and we'll get your prize out to you. If you want to be in the running for a prize yourself, just leave a comment below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and give us a thumbs up. That would be great.
Yep.
All right, so what are we talking about? Oh, haps. Let's just talk about haps quickly. I know we've mentioned them, but again, the Hap Cowl starts officially today, and we'll be having our Zoom cast-on party tonight. We have one at 6 o'clock and we have one at 7 o'clock because we didn't want people to feel overly crowded. So we've split everybody in half. You will know whether you're on at 6 or on at 7. You should have received that email, and we'll see you tonight. I think Maggie and I will be declaring what we're knitting during the Zoom.
I'll be showing. Like, I've already told you what I'm knitting, so there's not really.
Well, yeah, but we don't know the colors.
Right.
The exact colors.
Yeah.
Although teal will be in there, I'm quite sure.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so we will be casting on at that, but you're fine to be casting on today or after today, that's fine. And if you are joining us knitting along in the regular Facebook group, that's wonderful. Be casting on today and knit along with us. I know there's chatter in there too, so you don't have to be part of the paid program to knit along with us. You can just knit along in tandem with us, which is great. And of course the Ravelry group.
Yes. Yeah, our Ravelry group is up to about 6,600 people now. I go in there and it's always so chatty. It's amazing.
It is
you
amazing.
You guys are amazing. I will say too, our regular Facebook group, I shouldn't say regular, but our Facebook group taked over 10,000 people.
Oh, it did?
It did. So very exciting. And 10,000 of the most enthusiastic, friendly,
wonderful,
warm,
wonderful. Yes. Chatting
so
amongst yourselves, helping each other, asking questions. It's all very, very good. And we appreciate that so much. You just don't know. We talk about that a lot, don't we? That we have the best people in there.
We really do.
Yeah.
Among our communities, in doing research about Facebook groups and I'm always hearing these like horror stories about having to moderate and usually by the time you get 10,000 people, you're thinking about having I've heard some people have to like approve every post. I can't imagine that.
No. Keep doing.
Our group, you guys are so warm, so friendly.
Yeah.
Really just can't say enough. Enthusiastic. You guys get me inspired to keep knitting.
Yes, and I check in there almost every day, and I try to, I like and will leave a comment here or there too. So we see you, and we appreciate you being in our community. And I think when we get comments or emails from people, they will often say that any place that we have community is really nice.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. That's because of you. You make it really nice. So thank you. And 10,000 is amazing. We should celebrate. Yeah. We should do something special next episode.
We will celebrate. So if you're not in our Facebook group, get there in time for us.
Get in there, and we'll do some sort of special something to celebrate 10,000 there, over almost 7,000 in Ravelry, and almost 13,000 on YouTube's.
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you. That's brilliant. I didn't realize those were the numbers.
Yeah,
brilliant. I'm feeling a little bit shy now. I don't know if I can do this.
It's all right.
It'll be fine. All right. So yes, the Hap Cowl cast on is tonight. We'll see you there if you're there, and it's going to be fun. We have great interviews lined up, and I'm actually doing the last interview today, later on today, and I'm not going to tell you who that is yet.
We should mention the guest who's coming to our cast-on party.
Yes, of course we should. We have Gudrun Johnston coming to our cast-on party tonight, and she will be at both of them, which is just, speaks volumes about our lovely Gudrun. So, yes, she will be there. I think, will Caitlin?
Caitlin will also be there.
Yeah. So, yes, the Woolly Thistle will be represented, and Gudrun Johnston, who has been really supportive of this cowl right from the beginning.
Absolutely.
There's so many Hansel Haps being knitted, so she wants to come and join in the fun, which I am really, really excited about. So we'll see her tonight there too.
Yes.
All right, so let's just quickly mention what's in the shop, and then we will go to our lovely Caitlin, who has a segment for us too. So what do we have in the shop, Maggie? We have quite a few books going on.
Yes, we do. We do. I don't know if we want to start here.
Sure.
We'll work our way there. So
Yeah.
we've got Our Farming Life, Our Wild Farming Life.
Which I started reading, and I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, I guess it was based on a BBC TV show. I don't know how.
I don't know that it was based, well, I think, yes, I've seen on
I've seen
BBC Two, This Farming Life, which I think is a series of its own, and then they highlight various farms. But these girls live in Scotland, right in the shadow of the Cairngorms, if you can believe that, up in the Highlands. And yeah, they have all different animals. And right now, I'm just in the beginning where they're deciding that they're going to look for land and all of that. And they do. So this is great, very Scottish. Although one of the girls is from Switzerland. And I forget where the other one's from, probably England. Yeah. So yeah, good read so far. Written in a very nice, easy narrative.
This one also looks like a really good read.
I have started this too. My bed is piled high. So this is fascinating. This is feels more scholarly. You know, there's some footnotes and things like that.
Yeah.
But the very first chapter is about New Hampshire linen. And I forget the town off the top of my head. I know what it is, but I can't say what it is. What is it? It begins with an L. Londonderry. Londonderry, New Hampshire, actually was the last place to be doing domestic linen, you know, back in the olden days. And it was actually, I think, protected by the government, sort of like Harris Tweed.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's long gone now. And I don't know if you've ever been to one of these living museums, but when you go, you can see linen production. And the amount of work that goes into producing, you know, cloth is unbelievable. But anyway, that's just the first chapter of this. This is all about clothing and textiles, and it's a people's history of clothing. So fascinating read. So we have some of those just in.
Morit issue 2.
Yay.
This is a crochet focused
Beautiful
publication.
magazine.
It is really good.
And this is by Alison, who lives in Scotland, though she's an American. We're in reverse here. I'm Scottish, living here. And she is publishing this magazine and doing a beautiful job with it. She has a great Instagram as well. That's so pretty. Look at all these garments being crocheted. I feel like this is a movement that's happening.
They look fun to make and easy to wear.
And they'd be quick being crochet. And she uses lovely yarns as well.
She does.
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. I like your nails, Maggie.
Oh, thank you.
Fun.
I think that one was done with Daughter of a Shepherd. Oh, no. Fiber Company. Really pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the pink one. I'll be looking at that again.
Yep.
So that's in now.
I like this one. Just one more.
Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous.
So
I feel like, you know, crochet she is bringing it to the forefront for garments, and it's not your granny square, you know.
More and more I'm seeing it in issues of Lina, in
Well, and Marie Wallin has always been a champion of crochet. We'll be talking more about her.
We do have one of Marie Wallin's crochet books. I don't know if it's in stock right now.
Yeah,
I really like it, and it has a cardigan in there I've been eyeballing for years because I saw Marie actually wore it. And I was looking at it, and I don't remember what interview she was wearing it in, or it was in a photo. And I'm like, I think that's crochet.
We'll try and put a picture of it here.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's her own pattern.
Yeah. What else do we... Oh, Contrast is now in the shop. We've been pre-selling these, and hopefully yours will be in the mail to you. This is an enormous book.
It is
a big book, and it's lovely.
I want to say you get like 20 patterns or something in here. And the preview photos, I'm excited to have it in my hands. The preview photos for this have been amazing.
Yeah, so this is published by Lina. That's so pretty. That is so pretty.
We've all sort of been drooling over this in the shop.
Very nice. Yeah, so this is Contrasts, and it's a lot of textured knitting patterns. There's shawls and garments. Look at this. Look at that green as well. Oh. It's called Green Cress.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one feeling green, or we're not.
No. So many good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a cable gal. We've talked about this, but man, this book is tempting.
That would convince you, wouldn't it? That's the cover.
I know.
Gorgeous.
I'd have to have my sister knit that one.
But she would enjoy knitting that.
She would love it.
Marie. Yeah.
Yeah, clear your needles, Marie.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is now in the shop. We have sold many a pre-order, but we do have stock in the shop, at least at time of recording.
I love this color.
That's
too.
really nice. That, yes, that's beautiful. That's so lovely. Is that cables or lace?
I think they're cables.
Very gentle crisscross lattice type.
Yeah. Here we go.
Well, this book has definitely caught a lot of people's imaginations, and we have that if you are interested in that. Gorgeous.
And by the time this goes live, the new Alex Bird book on Estonian knitting is now on pre-order.
Yep.
As soon as we have that, we'll show that one off to you as well.
Exactly. One thing I wanted to show as well before we get into the other thing I want to show is just quickly that we do have all 3 volumes of Shetland Wool Adventures Journal, which 1, 2, and 3. We don't often manage to time it that all 3 are here, but they are right now. And so if you would like any of these or all 3, they're absolutely beautiful. That's volume 2 I'm holding.
They've got a lot of great patterns in them.
They got great patterns. They got great information about the islands themselves, like walks, and that's just a great photo. And recipes and things. So if ever you are going to Shetland, because COVID is allowing us to travel again, this would be great homework for you. And I would even go so far as to say you bring it with you when you go to Shetland, because it's a lot of good information in there. So I wanted to point that out. And also we have Fair Magazine, number 5.
This one looks really pretty.
Look at the embroidery. So we did get a supply of postcards. So for issue 5, while we have them that's beautiful. This is photography by Ruth, who is the creative mind behind Fair Magazine. Oh,
it's just so
you
pretty
get one
to
of these.
flip through.
I think there's different patterns, different photos. This magazine is just an inspirational, oh my God. I mean, just so beautiful. The what's the word? Not construction. The
aesthetic?
Yes, the aesthetic is beautiful. The photos are amazing, but the composition.
Hand weaving.
Oh, I'm trying to avoid anything about that.
Tempt.
Yes, I am tempted. What I need is like a couple of weeks where I just go and learn it all, very intensively. Yes.
So good.
Oh, where is this? This is in France. We just got this, so we haven't even looked through it yet.
It's just really pretty.
It's really pretty, and it's about these makers all over the world. It's not knitting focused, although you might find every once in a while some sort of fiber art in there, or knitting.
Jewelry making. So the tagline is crafting a creative life. So it really does show you different creatives from all walks of life.
And she takes beautiful photos. Oh,
I know.
Look at that.
Who wouldn't want a jar wall?
I want a jar wall now. Yes.
It's so pretty.
Yes. So that's in the shop now, and you should be able to get your copy of that if that's of your interest. I also wanted to point out, the spring is in the air, and we have, I just wanted to talk about my vanilla sweater, my vanilla fluff sweater, which I knitted in these 2 colors together. And I knitted, there we go, behind you. This is my daughter's color combo here. But all right, I'll get that in a minute. There are a couple of other really good, it's green, good color combos. So we've got Rauma Finullgarn in 4136, pairing it with this slightly darker green, which is 173. That's going to be really nice. Is that the same? No, it's a different green from what you had over there.
Oh, yeah.
It's different. So there's that one. And then you were just saying you like this color in that magazine. This is a peachy color 4138, and we are getting mohair in to match this. So these 4, so these 4 will be kits. Maybe not when this goes live on Friday, but very soon. As soon as we have them, we'll put them in the shop. Just wanted to tempt you with some new vanilla fluff colorways that are perfect for this weather as well. And just this kind of
I must
spring
feel the
feeling.
need to explain that if you're not in New England or New Hampshire,
Yes.
and you're like, it's already spring at my house.
Oh,
Like, we've got
like
all kinds
most
of
of the
flowers,
world,
right?
yes.
But it's still
Or-
there's like no leaves yet.
Yeah, no, we
It's
are
still-
literally just starting to see green grass. But if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're coming into winter, which is so exciting. I mean, if I could live in winter all year and just knit all year, I'd be very happy
You
with
just
that too.
globe hop.
I should, yes, world tour is coming. I should just head on down there with my knitting. That would be fun. So you get to be excited because I'm sure in Australia your summer has been very hot. So you're probably looking forward to the cooler temps, which is great. And I do think that the Postal Service is working with us again. There was a time there where we could not ship any orders to Australia. That has lifted, I think. So if you're in Australia and you see something that you would like, I think we're good to go. We can ship to you again.
Yep.
So feel free to shop. All right. So what else do we have? Well, the big thing is the cones.
Yes.
Now, these are actually, by the time you see this, these will have been on sale. We don't know what the state of affairs will be, whether we're sold out, whether we still have some. Hopefully we have some, because if you are seeing this, you might be interested. But
Should I grab a couple?
yes, why not? But Maggie, people on our email newsletter will have known when these went on sale and will have had ample opportunity.
Oh, they smell so good.
Yes, they do. Oh, this is color FC46. So we have a lot of the natural shades, as we always do, but we've gone for some colors, and I love that purple.
It's shade 133.
Yes, gorge.
I have never been the person who liked all these. Like, this one's so tempting. This is
So
color
FC
FC 38.
38. Okay, yes.
So pretty.
Foxy. You like these reds and oranges right now.
These have not always been my jam. You would think that it would be fall coming here.
I know. But
I'm-
you can get ready for fall.
I know.
And then,
Fall will come. And this one's FC 43.
so FC43 is quite similar to 202, which is a natural beigey color, but this is more yellow
Yeah.
and has
slightly
been
more yellowy.
dyed. Yeah. So these are just a couple of the samples that we have or had. We have an awful lot. The last time we sold cones, we sold out very quickly.
Yeah.
And we thought we had a lot. Well, we have been saving up, and we have a lot.
Yes.
So that hopefully, if you would like a cone, you will be able to get a cone of the color that you want. And just to tell you, this is 500 grams, which equates to 2,500 yards of two-ply, Jamieson & Smith two-ply. Did we say these are Jamieson & Smith? I just didn't expect everyone to know that. This is Jamieson & Smith two-ply, and 2,500 yards per cone, which is an awful lot, and it's a
Isn't
great
that
price.
like 20 balls?
Yeah, it's 20 balls of yarn.
20 balls.
Yeah.
I think too, I want to mention that it is a great value.
Yes.
It is a great value of 100% Shetland wool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is 100% Shetland wool from Shetland sheep on the islands of Shetland. Yes.
Yes. And that they buy it, like reading the story about
Yes.
Jamieson & Smith, they support the island. They buy from crofters. They
Yep.
give a fair price.
Yep. Exactly. So they are, when you purchase this, you are supporting Jamieson & Smith, who in turn support a huge percentage of the crofters throughout the Shetland Islands. So we're knitting to sustain a community of farmers and crofters on the islands when we purchase and knit with yarns from Jamieson & Smith. Or Iredale, same thing. That's just straight from the farm, from one farm. But that's what we try to do here at the Woolly Thistle, is really support the local farmers or crofters, the independent mills, the independent dyers, all of that. That's really our happy.
Like, I do like talking about the value you get in the one cone, but also reminding us of this
why it's
precious
important.
yarn.
Yes, why it's important.
Yeah.
And so in in tandem with that, cone overflow, we
Not
have...
a bad problem to have.
We've put together some grab bags because we know these always do well too. And we can sort of imagine... Let me
I'm having cone issues here, but
it's like
they're
swirly
so pretty
babies.
together.
They are, aren't they? They are. They are. I mean, you can knit blankets with this too, right? I know. So we're doing grab bags, which is a baker's dozen. So you get 13 and you get 15% off. So that's a really good deal as well. We don't typically do sales or discounts. So, you know, to get 15% off is quite good. And each one is different. They truly are grab bags. No two are exactly the same. There might be some repetition. If you were to order more than one bag, you might get a couple of balls overlapping, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We are not guaranteeing that you won't have a couple of balls the same. But, you know, if you're knitting a project, let's say you want to do a yoked sweater or something like that, you know, grab a grab bag, grab your main color, and you will be knitting for a long time to come with all that wonderful yarn. It's really a good deal. It's a great deal, and supporting the Shetland Islands.
Since I showed it, this one's
That's
FC
lovely.
14.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
And this is 133.
So
Happy days. So that is the big thing. Those were going on sale this week, so they've already been selling by the time you see this. But if you're interested, hop on over to the shop and be sure to be on our newsletter, because those people find out exactly when and where to be. We give you tips on how to make sure that you have as successful a chance as possible. We are expecting these to sell quickly, but I do hope that some are left, and maybe one of the ones that you're looking for could be in the shop.
Yep.
That would be good.
yeah,
Yes, Maggie.
so many good things.
So many good things.
We did just get before we, I don't know if we one more thing. So we did just get a restock of Retrosaria.
Yes.
And with that, we got some new colors. I don't know if you grabbed the basket. So we have, this is one of the new colors. It is 29.
Lovely bright
What is it,
mustard. Gold.
Gold mustard.
Yeah.
28, which is really nice green.
Yep.
Here we go. More green.
More green. Green's a thing.
And then 27, which is a nice navy.
I like this one too. This is 02 and it's kind of a bluey gray kind of color.
Yeah. I really like this one.
Yeah.
06. Sort of a mauve-y.
This yarn always feels really good. It feels smooth in the hand, but it feels substantial.
It is. They're all of Retrosaria's are non-superwash.
Yep.
100% wool.
Yep.
This
That's
one's
lovely.
04. That is really nice.
Okay, so we have lots of Vovo with new colors. We also have Mondim with new colors.
Yeah, so really the new color for Mondim, it's not really a new color, but we were able to get it in stock this time. It's 100. It's the natural.
Yes, and I think we could do stripes with that.
Yes. Yes, and actually in the Stripes book,
Yes,
there's a
in
pair
Vera
of socks.
Valamaki's,
Yes.
and she alternates. One sock has like the purple for the
These labels.
main
I
color.
love their labels.
I know, they're so good, very artistic. Yeah, so we don't have all of them here
I
to
didn't
show
grab
you,
all of them.
but and then of course we have Brusca as well,
Yes.
which is lovely. Another good label.
That one's 14C.
Thank you. Is this a new one?
No, we've had that before, but
Okay.
I didn't know if we'd shown that. I think this one is
Don't
the
think
new
so.
one, 15B.
Okay. That's nice. I think it's a dyed gray, but it's
Yeah.
a kind of grayish, almost lavender, like a gray
It has
with lavender
an
tones.
undertone, yeah.
This is 8B, which is a really nice bright red. I'm holding it upside down. Really nice. Yeah, so we have a full complement of Brusca, Vovo, and Mondim from Retrosaria right now.
Yeah.
So if that's of interest, grab those. I think it's time to go and visit with Caitlin.
I think so.
Yeah. So Caitlin today is talking about...
She's talking about a finished color work cowl. She's going to show you how she finished up those ends, and she's also going to talk about her hap knitting plans.
Wonderful, wonderful. If you remember last time we saw Caitlin, she was knitting a gorgeous color work cowl, so I can't wait to see how that finishes up. So we'll see you on the other side. Come right back, and we will be showing you something else.
Hi everyone, nice to see you again. I'm Caitlin, part of the Woolly Thistle team, and today I have just a couple things to talk about with you. First, I have my finished cowl, which I was knitting last time I was on here as part of our color work knit along that finished up last month. Have that finished object to show you. And then I have this collection here of Jamieson & Smith 2-ply yarn. I've been playing around with that and just have a few sort of ideas and thoughts about working with that yarn. First, I am wearing the Catchfly tee. This is a pattern by Wencke Pertermann. It was in PomPom Quarterly, issue 17, I believe. Yes, issue 17. This was summer 2016. It's got this nice little lace panel in the front. It's knit one piece for the front, one piece for the back, and then it's got this nice little I-cord sort of rounded out edge there and here. And I knit mine in a Cascade yarn. It was a few years ago, called Wallin, which I think is a mix of wool and cotton. It has some tweed in there, but it's a DK weight, so any DK weight could be fun for this one. And so let's just kind of get into the cowl that I finished. So as our color work knit along project, I made this cowl inspired by Emma, one of our contributors here. I used one of the patterns from the Selbu Patterns book, and then I used Rauma Finullgarn 401 for the white background, and then for the contrast color I did a bunch of different Jamieson & Smith 2-ply yarns, kind of starting with a light yellow here and some greens, going to a darker green, then brown, kind of a reddish orangish brown, and then this light orangish color. And the way I made this is it's 3 pattern repeats of a 40 stitch chart, and I wanted it to be narrow and I wanted it to be tall. This is meant to be more of a cozy around the neck, keeping you warm when it's windy out. And then I did a provisional cast on at the beginning, and then after I was done with the chart, it was as tall as I wanted. Then I switched to just a basic 2-ply wool yarn held with some mohair for the inside. You can kind of see a little bit of halo there. I had done that provisional cast on at the beginning, so then when I got to about the length, almost the full length of the color work section with the brown, then I bound, I did a Kitchener stitch to kind of finish them together. I think that would be visible, yeah, on this side. I could use a little work on my Kitchener stitch, like the tightening of it. Could use a little more practice on that, but I think it turned out really fun. The thing we talked about last time was how I was going to weave in all of the ends, and I tried a new technique. So I'll put a little video here of what I was doing, because now it's all encased, I can't show you. But what I tried was kind of a French braid sort of technique, where I had all my ends kind of running along the start of the row. And I just started at the top. I grabbed one from one side, one from the other, and I just kind of incorporated them as I went down and did a French braid sort of all the way down till the end. I had a little bit of a braided tail hanging off of my last couple of rows, and then I just kind of encased it in there. It was definitely fast. It only took me a few minutes to do. My overall review of the process is that I probably won't do it again unless I'm, again, totally encasing it and not really too fussy about how it's going to look. This is where that start of round is. And you can see that because I didn't weave in my ends nice and tight, I didn't have the chance to go with each individual strand and really tighten it nicely, kind of clean it up. So I feel like this is just a little less than tidy, especially when you pull it apart. It's, you know, not perfect, but, and then there's also just a little bit of bulk that you can feel if you know what you're looking for, especially where I kind of tucked the tail in under here. It's not going to bother me, but that's kind of how that process went. I'll just show you kind of how it fits. like I said, it's meant to fit pretty tight and not exactly be like a wear by itself fashion accessory, but more of something that's going to fit really tight when I zip my coat up in the winter. I could have made it a little shorter just so the pattern doesn't get so scrunched, but overall I think it turned out pretty fun. I don't have anything else really quite like this, so there's that. Could also flip it around the other way and then just pop this under. Yeah, so that's that. Finished project finally after the color work knit along finished up. And next I wanted to talk a little bit about the next knit along that we have coming up, which is the Hap knit along. I'm recording this a little early, but the day this Shopcast is airing is actually our cast on day, so we hope a lot of you will be able to join us. We're all knitting traditional Shetland style shawls, and so I've been planning my project, and I think I have it narrowed down at least a little bit, so I've been playing with colors and things this week. I'm going to be knitting one of the Hansel Haps by Gudrun Johnston. I'm doing the half size medium, which means I'm doing the triangle shape rather than the full square, and I'm doing the medium one of those. So I don't have all of my yarn to show you. I've actually got it in the mail to me coming in a couple days, hopefully in time for the cast on, I'm sure. But I'm planning on knitting mine, the main color, in J&S Smith Shetland Supreme, which is pretty comparable to the 2-ply jumper weight, but it's their line of undyed, just kind of naturally blended colors. So I have color 2006 coming, which is sort of a light beigey gray, I think, and I've not used that yarn before, so I'm interested to see that and play with it. Then I've been playing around with my collection of J&S Smith 2-ply jumper weight. I got a couple of grab bags a couple years ago, which at time of recording have not gone live in the shop, but we do have some coming in the next few days. By the time you see this, they will have already hit the shop, and there may be some left. They're so fun to just have a little collection to play around with. So I have a couple of fresh greens coming I think I'll incorporate in my Hansel Hap. But I've just been carrying my little bag of these around all week and just playing with them as I can. While I was playing with them, I wanted to be able to document which colors I have, how much I have of them, and then that kind of helped me decide what colors I might want to add. So what I did was, as I was laying them all out playing, I also went to the Woolly Thistle website, which has been redesigned lately and has nice big photos of all of the color variants if you scroll down on any of the product pages. And what I did is I took a screenshot on my phone of that product page. I could get about 8 of the colors in my screen at a time. And so then I had kind of a collection of photos of all of the different colors. I don't have one of the color cards. That would be another kind of nice way to sort of document what colors you have already. But then what I could do is I went into each of those photos, and if I had one of the colors in that particular set of photos on my screen, I edited the photo and just marked down with the little sort of pencil tool that I had that color, put a little check mark next to it. And that was just kind of a nice visual when I was on my phone, not necessarily with all my yarn and just kind of thinking about colors and playing. Also, while I was playing with those, the other thing I did is I wanted to make sure of the amounts that I had of everything. Because I just made that color work cowl, I had less than a full skein of a few of these, and I wasn't sure exactly if I had enough for any of the contrast colors in the Hap that I'm planning. So what I did, I'll just grab one as an example. This color here is 122 mix. What I did is I took my kitchen scale and I weighed this skein to see, usually they're 25 grams, but since I've used a little bit, I wondered how much down I was. I think this one, what I did is I actually, as I was weighing it, I wrote just right on the label that I have 17 grams left. And Jamieson and Smith 2-ply, there are 5 yards per gram. So I knew that if I just divided my number of grams that I have left by 5, that would give me how many yards. And that's how at least the Hansel Hap pattern communicates how much of each yarn you're going to need. She gets pretty specific, which is nice. And she says, of this color, you need 85 grams. Of this color, or 85 yards. Of this color, you need almost the whole 125 yards. So that gives me kind of an extra idea of whether I have enough of any of these colors as I'm playing, especially with color sequence. Some colors require more, some less. So that's another sort of tip for managing how much of the yarn that you have left. And I am very excited to be starting this project soon. And again, hope that you'll join us for that. I wonder if you have any other tips on managing your yarn collection. I've never been a good one to put up things on Ravelry or keep that very organized, but that's another nice place where you can put your entire stash on there and then pull from your stash as you're creating your project pages and whatnot. But yeah, wonder if you're a collector like me, if you're drawn to just especially our yarns that have such a large color palette like Jamieson and Smith. I find those particularly just really enticing to play with, to just sort of mentally create color palettes in your mind. And yeah, wonder if you're like that too. Hope that whatever project you're planning, it's also going well and bringing you lots of joy. And one other thing I wanted to show you before we go is this little thing right behind me here. This was a Christmas gift from my mom. She's a Woolly Thistle fan as well, and she kind of roughly took our logo and did this little punch needle circle to kind of replicate our logo. And then she took this cardboard craft box. I think it's from a craft outlet store. Just a little cardboard box. And she used Mod Podge to kind of stick some fabric onto it and then fixed this on there. And I just, think that turned out really cute and thought you might all enjoy seeing that. Kind of a different fiber craft, but Woolly Thistle related as well. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, for that lovely segment. We really enjoy hearing from you. And that colorwork cowl is amazing.
It's beautiful.
And we'll see you at the Hap, the Zoom cast-on party tonight. So now it's time to talk about Marie Wallin and her new book, Cumbria, which is launching early May, and we will be ready for that. Let's show them. There you go. So this is her current collection of colors, which is just gorgeous. There's 20 of them, all colors designed by Marie Wallin to work together. Many of you will know how well she does color work. And so her new book also introduces 6 new colors, which I don't have here, but I love that.
I know.
That's really pretty.
They just all go so well together.
They do. You can't go wrong with Marie Wallin's colors. We are putting together kits for her new book, Cumbria, and we'll be showing those to people on our email list, I think.
Yeah.
We are working on that right now, where we have the design and the kits. Also, Marie has increased her size range, so that's great. It goes up to a 3X, I believe. And also, there are 3 garments for men in this collection, which if you knit the extra small size, you could wear, I think, as a women's size, just so you know. But yes, she has been asked for years to knit men's knitwear, and this book has 2 cardigans and a sweater. And we'll have kits for those, I believe. And there's a hat and a scarf as well.
And a vest.
And a vest, a sleeveless vest. That's what I'll be casting on for sure. I love a Colorwork sleeveless vest, and she has one, and it's really, really pretty.
It is really pretty.
Yes, so I will be casting that on. I need some color work. I've not been doing much lately, in terms of a garment anyway. Right. And I want to knit with her yarn substantially. So that's going to be what I cast on. So definitely be on our email list so that you can get the all the pictures and all the launching information. We will have that just as soon as it goes live. We have an interview with Marie coming up right now where she is talking about her new book Cumbria, and she's showing us all the different designs, so you're going to get a sneak peek right now. Really love talking with Marie, so I hope you enjoy that. I think we'll let Marie take us out. I don't think we have anything else to share with you. No. Blathered on for quite a bit here, which is always fun. It's a nice way to start the week. Yeah. Or end the week because it's Friday now. But anyway, enjoy my chat with Marie, and keep in touch. Make sure you're in our community, whether it's on Facebook or Ravelry, and here on YouTube, leave us a comment and you'll be in the running for a prize next time. So if you go out,
take your knitting.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Shopcast. I have Marie Wallin with us today, and I'm very excited to talk to you, Marie. Hi, about your new book, Cumbria. So we're here to talk all about that. Maybe first of all, you can tell us the inspiration for the collection as a whole, and then we can look at the different designs with you.
Okay, yeah. Well, the collection Cumbria, I actually did loads of designing last year. So I actually designed 2 collections, so Cumbria and then Westmoreland, which is going to come out early next year. But we photographed everything together in November. And the inspiration for the designs are really a real mixture of different patterning inspirations. So from carpets from Iran, Afghanistan, places like that to the Far East, and then European folk art sort of motifs, and then traditional floral motifs, all a big mishmash of patterning.
Well, it really works from what I've seen to take those different elements. So that's exciting.
Yeah, so that's really the main inspiration about it. And there's a couple of plain stitch textured designs in the book as well, so, and they're very traditionally based, so they're sort of inspired by just traditional twisted stitches and obviously twisted cables as well.
Mm-hmm. So and you also have a couple of men's designs in there for
I mean, that's the exciting thing. Well, there's a couple of exciting things about this new book, is that first of all, it's the first book to have menswear in it, and since I've started my own business, I've been getting regular drip sort of regular emails from people. When are you going to do menswear designs and things? So this is my, I'm now in a position to do it. So we've got 3 designs in Cumbria, and we'll have 3 designs in Westmoreland as well for menswear. And that's really exciting. The next exciting bit is that this is the first book that's got the extended size range in on it.
That's right. Yes. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the women's wear now goes from it's 7 sizes now as opposed to 5. So it goes from small to 3XL. So the 2 extra sizes are the 3XL and the 2XL. So they're the 2 extra sizes, and then the menswear is 8 sizes, and there's an extra small there which I've included because just in case women knitters want to knit the menswear and wear it.
Great idea.
So that was the reasoning behind that. So the extra small and the small menswear is like equivalent to the sort of the smaller end of the ladies sort of spec. So
that's I think is really great though, that if there is like the cover photo, the men's sweater in the cover photo, I think would make a lovely women's sweater as well. Any of them would. And that's a really good idea that you've included sizes that would work for women potentially in the men's sizing. So that's good. And the book Cumbria has a total of 11 new designs in it. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you've got a mixture of men's, women's, garments.
And a couple of accessories.
Yeah. So why don't we start at the beginning and just walk our way through it? So I think the first one is Bessie Boot.
Oh yes, Bessie Boot. So
and where does Bessie Boot get her name from?
Oh, Well, Bessie Boot is the name of a fell in Cumbria. So
for my audience here, what is a fell?
Oh, a fell is just like moorland, or I don't know how you would describe it in America.
Is it like a hill, a grassy hill?
Big hills and open landscape moorland, that type of thing. It can go quite high.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yes, that's what a fell is. Like fell walking is like hill walking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Bessie Boot.
And she's lovely.
Yeah, so it's a funnel neck, which I just thought be nice to do a funnel neck. They're a bit on trend at the minute, and just something a little bit different than the standard crew. And it's also got 3/4 length sleeves, but you could easily make them longer by just repeating one of the patterns, the lower patterns further up, so that's not a problem. And it is oversized, as you can see.
I was just going to say that.
Fit sort of has an easy fit to it, so it's oversized, so it's not meant to be fitted.
And it looks like set-in sleeves, is that right?
It's got a shallow set-in. So you'll notice that on the menswear as well. The menswear have got a shallow set-in, or what we call a J sleeve here in the UK. I don't know if that's a term in America.
I haven't heard it, but it makes sense. I can see why.
So it looks like a J. So it's a shallow set-in. So I tend to do that on designs that are oversized and they're not fitted. The fitted designs tend to have a full set-in sleeve.
Yeah, that's nice though, because then you're getting rid of all that extra bulk that you might have there.
So this isn't, I wouldn't say this is an easy knit, as you can see. So it is really for an experienced fur knitter, really, because some of the patterns are, this pattern in particular is quite complex, if you like.
Are you at all going over 2 colors per row?
No, they're all
still only doing
in a row. They're all still 2 colors in a row. Obviously just change color a lot, and then obviously it is designed, and the pattern is written flat, so it is knitted fur flat, but you can knit it in the round by just introducing your steek stitches where that side seam would be. Right. So you can add 5, 7 or 9 steek stitches depending on what you want to do at both side seams, and then obviously where the armholes would be as well.
Now, why would you steek the side seams as opposed to just the armhole? Why are you saying?
Well, you could. Well, it depends what you want to do. I think it might be easier for you to do that following the charts, because I just think if you knitted it completely in the round without any steek stitches, the pattern, you might get lost in the pattern, and it's just a personal choice, really. Personally, I think a seam, an actual physical seam, looks better than if it didn't have a seam and then the pattern was mismatched. So that's the only reason for that, really, and that's why I say it's best to introduce it at steeks for side seam. As a designer, that's what I prefer people to do, but obviously if they want to do that, then that's a personal choice. They can can do
good
whatever.
To know, though.
So
it's not overly difficult then to knit this in the round and steek where you need to.
Well, no, because obviously it's the pattern, then you'd be able to follow the pattern exactly as it's written, really. I mean, all the flat knitted patterns start with the back. Well, in Bessie Boot's case, the front and back are exactly the same anyway. So you would start with your first lot of steek stitches for a side seam, then knit the back, then introduce your steek stitches for the other side seam, and then knit the front. So you'll be starting and ending around at a side seam, so in the middle of a side seam steek, if you like. So
and the fact that you design flat ferrule, it gives you many more options to come up with these beautiful, more interesting.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people ask me, well, why can't, why isn't it fully knitted in the round? Well, the reason for that is because I wouldn't be able to put these complex patterns together. Because each has got obviously each pattern section has got its own pattern repeats,
Mhm.
and getting different pattern sections to repeat as a multiple of each other is actually quite difficult to do.
Right.
So, I mean, it's easier, obviously, the smaller the motifs, the better. So that's why a lot of traditional fur isles tend to be knitted in the round,
Yeah.
because they're easier to design and put into be able to knit it completely in the round.
Right.
But with something like this, it's just a lot more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it would just limit me too much.
Right.
To do
So
that, and as a designer, I'm not prepared to do it.
Quite right.
So,
quite right.
Yeah.
And plus you're able to have different design elements in the shaping as well, because you're not
yes. Yeah. You do that as well.
Although you do have some that are knitted in the round. We'll point those out as we look at them.
Yeah. But as I say, you know, all my flat knitted designs can be knitted in the round, but you've just got to introduce the sticks, that's all. And you know, and have a side seam or not, depending on, you know, it's what your personal choice is, really. Yeah.
And I actually think that today's knitter is much more comfortable steeking than they would have been before. So I don't think that's as daunting as it might have sounded a couple of years ago.
I think a lot more people are willing to sort of have a go at steeking and things, which is really good.
Yeah.
So, but I do try and encourage people to knit fur isle flat, because if you do master it, it's not difficult. It really is not difficult. I don't understand why there is this, and not anti, but this
resistance.
To knit fur isle flat, and I just don't understand it, because it's not difficult. It really is not difficult.
You're purling, but you're purling in color work, which I don't think makes a lot of difference in terms of, are you still holding your yarns the same way?
You just knit, obviously just knit the wrong side, the same as you do the right side. But obviously if you're used to only knitting in the round and you're knitting two-handed, granted, when you come to do the wrong side, it is more difficult. Because of the nature you're holding your yarns and everything. So I always recommend that people who are just used to knitting fur isle with two hands to actually pick up and drop on the wrong side until they get used to do it. You can do it two-handed. It's just fiddly. Basically, it's just a case of getting used to it. And if you're not prepared to get used to it, then just pick up and drop.
I have purled in color work, and it doesn't take that long before you're like, oh, okay, and you're back to your two-handed, and it might be a little bit at first, but it's not rocket science. And I think
I also think it's easier to fur isle on the wrong side, because you can actually see your strands.
Exactly.
So you know, so there's a few myths sort of, you know,
it's a challenge. I mean, you're laying down the gauntlet.
just try something new. And I just, because when people come to my workshops, I always encourage them to knit fur. You know, I show them how to do it. Because I think if you can do it, then you can knit anything, basically. Because if you're just limiting yourself to knitting in the round, that's what you're doing. You're limiting yourself. And, you know, there'll be lots of different things that you won't be able to make. So I think that's a shame, really.
Adds to your repertoire. And my gosh,
exactly.
And if you can knit back or purl if you can purl color work, you are able to do a lot of things, and you're going to get faster at your knitting and everything. So all right, that's very interesting. So this was Bessie Boot. She's very pretty. And what is the next one?
The next one is a stitch one, which is Bowness, which is named after quite a well-known town in Cumbria, which is on the shores of Lake Windermere.
We should probably talk about Cumbria, because for the American viewers, they might not know where Cumbria is, and it's actually in the Lake District. Is that right?
Cumbria, yes, is the county that's in the Lake District. So in the Lake District, you've got so Cumbria is north of Lancashire. So if people have heard where Manchester is, that's sort of Greater Manchester and Lancashire, and then Cumbria is above that. Then you've got a big mountain range down the middle, hill range called the Pennines, and that divides Lancashire, Cumbria from Yorkshire. So I currently live in North Yorkshire, which is part of the Yorkshire Dales National Park. The Yorkshire Dales National Park actually extends into Cumbria as well. So and then it becomes the Lake District National Park. So even though, like, my friend Alison, who lives at the Shepherdess, that's at Shacklebank Farm, which is one of the locations we used. She has actually got a Cumbrian address, but she's actually in the Yorkshire Dales National Park, so it's a bit confusing.
But it's all very beautiful area.
The Lake District is a lot more mountainous than it is here in the Dales. I would say the Dales is quite wild. It's sort of a lot more fells and more open moorland. It's a bit more open, whereas the Lake District is quite dominant by quite large peaks, so quite large hills. There's a lot more trees and things like that. So they are quite different, really.
And where you are, do you have
the lakes?
And do you have a lot of sheep and farms around you?
Loads of sheep here in the Yorkshire Dales. Where we live now, we've got all the fields around us have got sheep because it's lambing at the minute. So there's lots of lovely little lambs running around and acting in a silly way and everything. So it's we've got lots of sheep. Well, obviously in the Lake District there's the traditional Herdwick sheep, which is probably the one that most people recognize because it just looks so lovable and it's got a smile, like it's smiling at you all the time. And then here in the Dales we have one called the Swaledale sheep, which is really hardy sheep. It's got horns that come round like here, and they tend to have sort of black faces with speckles on them and things, and the fleeces are white. They have sort of black legs. Alison, my friend who farms over at Sedbergh, she's got rough fell sheep. They're similar looking to Swaledale but much bigger sheep. So and their fleeces are a bit creamier look. So so that's sort of the main ones. There's Herdwicks here as well. The farmer that has all the sheep round where we live here, he's got a mixture of a few different ones. So he's got Swaledales, he's got Herdwicks, he's got some Swarbles as well, which is some of the fibre that goes into British breeds, which is really good. And then there is a lot of sheep which they call are a mule, which means that they're a mixture of two different breeds. So the majority of sheep in this country are mules, so they are bred that way so they have characteristics that are good characteristics of two different breeds. So they tend to be Swaledale with Texel or Swaledale with Blueface Leicester. So because each has sort of a characteristic, so they tend to put Swaledale with them because they're such a hardy sheep. They can be out up on the hills in all sorts of weather. Exactly. Whereas a Blueface Leicester sheep on its own they're quite hard to keep.
They get foot problems, I think.
They're a bit susceptible to the weather and things like that. So that's the reason.
Fascinating. And of course the Hardwick sheep is what's her name? Beatrix Potter. She was champion of the Herdwick sheep. She saved really. In many respects. So but obviously Herdwick wool doesn't really go into knitting yarn. No, it's more like a carpet.
It is, it's far. And the same with Swaledale. Swaledale's goes into carpets and insulation, that type of thing. It's not it doesn't go into clothing or anything.
Right. So, okay, so show us Bowness.
So Bowness is just like a traditional twisted stitch design.
Very pretty.
In raw. So, and it's got a really pretty little peplum weight,
little flare.
You can see that.
Lovely.
So, so it's again, this is knitted flat as well. It's knitted flat, but saying that, this could be easily done in the round because both the side seams have got reverse stocking stitch at the side, so you can just carry on basically.
Although with this, when you're doing so many purl stitches to get the texture anyway, I would, people probably don't mind knitting it flat and doing some seam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because because all the rows that you're knitting on the wrong side are just literally knit and purl. You're not doing any particularly advanced stitching or anything. There's no twisted stitches on the wrong side in this. They're all done on the right side. So
very pretty.
And it's more fitted, so it's got a setting sleeve.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the sleeve has just got the smaller patterns just repeating across
very pretty.
there.
Yeah.
So that
twisted stitches are so pretty.
Yeah, I really like them. They're just really pretty sort of stitching. Really, it just gives that fine sort of textured look as opposed to a cable, really, which can look
quite heavy.
Chunky. Yeah. So that's that. Where am I going to put these? I'll put that on the floor. So the next two in the book are two more traditionally inspired ferrules, which are cat bells and troutbeck. So cat bells is a ferrule yoke, which is this one here.
Gorgeous. So this is one of our cover designs here.
Yeah, in the cover, and it is quite easy to knit this one because as you can see, the ground colour, which is the raw, runs practically all the way through. You've just got the odd pattern section, which has got a different colour running through in the ground.
So pretty. And do we have some new colours in this? I'm not sure if I can tell.
This one, we've got seagrass in there. I think we've got, is that dark apple or seagrass? I can't see. Oh, we've got walnut in there, I think. And that might be seagrass. It might be dark apple, to be honest. It's hard to tell.
We'll have a good look at your new colors event. But this is very pretty. I think this is going to be very popular. And of course, being a circular yoke, this one you will be knitting in the round. You're not adapting.
No, it's completely knitted in the round.
Yeah.
And obviously you can make it longer by just obviously knitting the stocking stitch areas longer. That's no big.
Could you so you could do the depth of the yoke by adding some just raw in between if you needed
if you wanted to extend the yoke bit you could do, but I don't see if you extended the yoke bit I think it wouldn't fit you then properly.
You probably don't want to. Okay.
Do
you do all your increases on the plain rows though?
Yeah, all the increases are done. So yes, you could add a little bit in between the rows if you did want to. But and it is designed to be fitted. So again, if you want it to be looser fitting, then just knit a bigger size. It's what you actually need. But if you did want to lengthen it, then just add more stock and stitch rows in before you get to the ferrule bits, really.
I love how the yoke pattern continues down the sleeve and around the body, which is sort of a signature of your yoke sweaters.
It's similar to I've noticed you've got lovage behind you, and that's done in the same done in the same way, so you've got it coming down. So it's
really nice.
Lovely. So that's cat bells. I'll put that on the floor, and then troutbeck is a menswear.
This is beautiful. This is from the front cover of the book as well.
So again, this is another quite reasonably easy one of mine to do. So again, most because the raw is going all the way through, this has got more, I think it's the center pattern of each main pattern section that has got a different color running through it, but the majority is raw.
It's absolutely beautiful, and
and it's got a very sort of fine tip on the edge, so it's just a cast on in the mallard, and then you start the raw.
Lovely.
And the same on the welt and on the neck as well. So
nice little touch.
So that's that.
So you were saying that this is a relatively easy design, which I think people would think, no way, that can't be. Look at all that color work.
Well, only from the point of view is that the raw is, you're not changing as many colors as you normally would do with one of my designs, because the raw is used a lot, as you can see in it, and you're only changing color in the center of the main patterns, really.
And so again,
that's the reason for that.
And there's not
there is
than 2 per color per row.
No. I mean, none of the designs in Cumbria, they're all 2 colors in a row. So but again, this is knitted flat, so you could, if you want to knit it in the round again, introduce some steep stitches into the side, or as you say, continue way round if you're not bothered about that.
And it's got a nice V-neck.
It's got a nice sort of shallow V-neck with a mitre. Yeah, so that's that. And this is and my husband really likes this garment, so he wears it a lot.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I think it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So so that is it's really nice. And that's got some new colours. So that's seagrass, which is a brighter green.
Yeah, lovely.
So what else have we got in here? Oh, that's willow. That sort of mustardy colour.
Okay, yep, very nice.
And then obviously you've got ocean, which is that lovely blue.
Aha, yes.
Yeah. And walnut, which is that sort of
dark brown.
Yeah, browny grey colour.
Browny grey, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's those colours in there. I don't think there's any more in that one.
I think you're so talented with your ability to put colours together. I know that if I, whenever I try to do that, it's kind of hard. So, you do have a talent for this, and
thank you.
Yeah, you do a beautiful job. Of course, you've designed the yarn and all the colors anyway, so it's your paint box, but you do such a good job with it. What do we have next?
So the next one is Keris, which is, I love this little design. It's really sweet.
Yes, this is one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to knit this one.
Yeah. But a little bit more, not as easy to knit.
Why is that?
You're changing colour a lot more. Well, only because you're changing colours a lot more, really.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but as I say, it's still 2 colours in a row.
Yep. You don't have to bother with sleeves.
No, there's no sleeves, so there's not that to worry about. Again, it's knitted flat because of the different pattern repeats on the sections.
Yeah.
So again, introduce those sticks if you want to knit it in the round, really.
Yeah.
And I really like this.
And the motifs are beautiful. It reminds me of tiles, mosaic.
Yeah.
tiles.
Well, again, that's the sort of Moorish influence.
Yeah.
In there, and then and it's fitted, and it is reasonably short. If you wanted to knit it a bit longer, then obviously you could just repeat one of the patterns further up. You could start the repeat again, to be honest.
Just start over and keep going. Okay.
Just knit it that little bit longer.
It's beautiful. It's lovely. So I think that's going to be very popular.
Yeah. So that's
Keris.
And Keris isn't named after anywhere in Cumbria. It was just, I don't understand. Can't remember why Keris came up, really. But I kept it as Keris, and it's an actual Welsh girl's name meaning love. Actually quite apt, because I do really love it.
Yeah, that works.
So that works. Then we've got Glen Ridding.
Yes.
Which is another menswear one, which is this lovely cardigan, which is more neutral in colouring. So you've got the more natural neutrals and with the blues. Yeah. So it's the new blue. It's got the new dark grey, which is Storm.
Oh, lovely.
And walnuts in there as well. So and then as well as sort of corn cockle, Daniel, and mallard.
Lovely.
And birch. So so all those colours are in there.
Isn't that lovely?
Again, this is sort of more this is sort of a real mixture of sort of fur. I mean, that's a typical type of traditional fur design there, but then you've got more carpet type of design here. So again, it's a mixture. And then I've added the plaid at the bottom,
which is just really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I did a similar thing to a cardigan in Shetland. I don't know if you remember. Ninian has got the plaid at the bottom, and I just think it just makes it look a little bit more modern. And
it's a twist. It's unexpected, and it works.
So again, it's got a J sleeve, as all the menswear have, and then
is that corrugated rib around the edge?
Yeah, it's the 2-colour rib. Yeah,
so, really nice. Really nice, very nice. And it's a cardigan. So
So and it's got pockets.
And pockets. Nice.
So that's that one. So that's a nice menswear one. Then we've come to Lingmore, which is probably the most complex design in the book, which is this one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so so again, you can see it sort of, you know, can see how complex the pattern is really.
Yeah.
And it's more of a tunic length. It's fitted tunic length.
Yeah.
And it's got full setting sleeve and everything. So
Okay.
so yeah, so that's yeah, it's a lovely one, this one.
Yeah,
so,
and it's got nice, it's nice, you're sort of you get warm colors and cool colors playing with each other.
All mixed in together. So
yeah, very nice.
So that's that.
And I suppose if you didn't want that to be tunic length, you just knit it shorter and it's a sweater.
Yeah, could. Well, the actual pattern repeat is quite long, so it's, I think, top of my head, it's about 180 rows.
Wow.
Which is more or less, well, actually, which takes you, I think, the top of the repeat is there.
Right.
So you could shorten it by, you know, a good 10 centimeters by just doing one complete repeat, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So that's that. Again, that's got a 2-color rib on it as well.
Yeah. Pretty.
So, and then that is photographed with this one, which is, I love this jacket. So, which is Grassmore.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Which is, yeah, traditional cable.
Yeah, and I believe this is knitted holding yarn double.
It is, yes. So I just wanted to try something a bit different, and I just, when I started to design it, I just knitted a couple of cable stitches just to see, and I just really liked it.
Yeah,
it's actually probably going to inspire a new introduction into the yarn range, which will be an Aran weight.
Ooh.
Which will be probably next year.
Oh,
so,
exciting.
Yeah, so I'll probably do a limited colour, you know, colour range in that. So yeah, so that's where it inspired in, you know, is inspired that. So it's quite a heavy garment. So so that's why it's more of an outer.
Yep.
I think it's more of an outerwear,
yeah,
sort of, you know, cardigan stroke jacket rather than indoor, unless you live in a really cold house.
And is this a new color as well?
Yes, this is Storm, which is the really nice natural grey. Again, the Storm and the Walnut are inspired by very natural sheep colours, colours, although they're dyed, but they are more natural colours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
beautiful.
Yeah, even Georgia loved this garment. I mean, James really liked it. James, because they always have a garment each as part of their payment, as well as, you know, the financial aspect of it. So James is having a garment which is actually going to be in Westmoreland, which is another cable, and then Georgia's having this.
Is she really?
So, yeah, they obviously a smaller version, but she just absolutely loved this. So
that's great. And so she's getting one of these. Is she going to get it oversized, or will she have it fitted to her?
I'd probably make it just slightly oversized. So yeah. So I'll probably look at the because I'm waiting for the yarn to come into stock before I can send it out to be knitted for her. So I'll probably do this small for her probably rather than the extra small. I'll just need to compare really.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So,
beautiful.
Yeah. And then the final garment is this one, which I also really like, which is Rydal.
Yes, I like that too.
It's really, really sweet. Again, you know, relatively easy to knit because there's motifs are smaller, it's more repeating. And you've got more stocking stitch in between each section, although it's made it slightly different because we've got a little bit of reverse stocking stitch.
You got a little bit of texture there.
So just to add a little bit of interest into it, and it's
fun.
got more of a modern slash neck, which looks really great on. And this is knitted in the round.
Okay.
So it's completely knitted in the round except for the sleeves, and you've got the steeks for the sleeves.
Right.
And
then do you pick up the stitches and knit down, or
you pick up the stitch from the armhole and knit down from the armhole steeks and then knit down.
It's lovely.
And then you've got a deep ribbon there. So, and then that's up to you if you want to do it that deep, or you can do it less and add another one of these patterns. It's
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, you can make it.
so it's a versatile design, really.
Yeah.
How you want to knit it, so you can
That's
make it
lovely.
longer.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, and I like that neckline. It'll be quick to get going, and not too much shaping to worry about.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So so that's that one.
Good.
And then the two accessories. So we've got the.
I'm so glad that you've got some accessories in this. I think that it's great for beginner knitters as well.
Yeah.
Start with a smaller project.
Yeah. So we've got the Tarn Tam, which is in 2 colorways. So I did one specifically more mensy,
darker, yeah.
More women's, which is a bit prettier, but I really like the grey one as well. So
yeah, lovely.
So those two, and they're quite straightforward, quite easy projects to do for a beginner. So
very nice.
Yes, and then we've got the Swaledale scarf, which is actually the same pattern as in the Borough Cowl, which is in Shetland. So it's just a recolor of that, really.
I love the colors though. This is so pretty. The greens and the blues together like that.
Yeah, it is really. So you've got the new colors in here.
Okay.
And you've got the blue. So you've got the ocean in there. You've got the seagrass here. What else have we got? I'm just trying to think. I think it's willow in here. Oh yeah, willow's in there as well, which is there. Oh, I forgot to mention, because Ace is only used in the Tarn Tam in this book. You see it more in the next book. And Ace is actually a really beautiful colour, which is that
lovely dusky bright
red.
Really. Red, is it red? Okay.
So, it's more. Well, it was inspired by my Acer tree back in my old house.
Yeah.
In the autumn, went this beautiful shade.
It's lovely.
So hence why it's called Acer. So it's just in there in this
little
book,
pot.
but it's used a bit more in Westmoreland.
Yeah.
It'll look great as a solid knit garment, like if you knitted Bowness in this colour would be lovely.
Yeah, would.
So that's that. So yes, so going back to Swaledale scarf, yes, it's done as a scarf, but easily done as a cowl as well if you wanted to do it as a cowl.
Yeah, how do you like to join your ends when you're doing a cowl? Do you do a 3 needle bind off, or?
No, I'd stitch it. I just do mattress stitch. So
okay.
Or Kitchener stitch.
Yeah.
That type of thing, really. Only because I quite enjoy doing it.
And you can only. I've tried, but I think you can only do Kitchener in one color. It's not like you can keep the pattern. The color pattern.
Oh no, yeah, you only do it in one color, but they always finish with a one color end anyway. So you won't see it, so as you can't see it there. So.
Lovely. So you could leave this as a scarf, or you could just join the ends, and you've got
you can do it as a cowl, do less repeats in it, and do it as a cowl, or do it as a long cowl. Yes, do it the same as that. Yeah. So that's that. So they're
very nice.
All the designs in Cumbria.
Yeah, Cumbria has 11 designs using all your different colors. So you must be up to 26 colors.
So yes, from the 1st of May, it's 26 colors.
Do you want to show us them by the ball?
We can go through each of the colors now if you like.
That'd be great.
So this is Willow.
Lovely.
So Willow's a really lovely colour. You'll see this in Westmoreland, actually. It's knitted in a solid colour garment, and it is just lovely. It's a very rich sort of mustardy colour. I wanted something darker than, I wanted something between russet and quince.
Yeah.
So, and it's really sort of like fills really.
Yeah.
And then we've got Seagrass, which is a really lovely mid-tone, brighter green.
Yeah.
Which again, I just wanted something a little bit brighter in the
it's picking up the color of the pot that's on top of your bookcase there. It's really pretty. Yeah. That is beautiful. So that one's.
And then we've got
Ocean.
That's Seagrass. This is Ocean, which is just a really lovely blue.
It is. It's sort of. Is it on the periwinkle side of blue? I'm having.
Well,
or no?
Yes. Well, it's not, and yeah, there's an element of a slight purpliness about it, but yeah, it's more of a true blue. I would have explained it, but it is really nice. But when you look at it, you probably won't see it on screen, but you can see, you know, you see a nice blend of, well, with all the colours in British Breeds, and not a solid, completely solid colour. So it's sort of like there's swarbles coming through. You can see it, the sort of the grayer end of it.
Lovely.
As well. So that's that. Lovely. Then obviously we've got Acer, which we've just talked about, which was inspired by my tree in the garden. And then we've got the two natural inspired ones. So we've got Storm, which is sort of the grey, sort of like a natural grey, and then Walnut, which is more of a natural.
Oh, I like that. It's sort of
brown, really.
On the taupe side of things, though. Would you say?
Yeah. So they're sort of inspired by natural shades, if you like, coloured wools, but dyed.
Very nice.
So they're the 6 colours. So yes, so from the 1st of May, there'll be 26 colours in the British Breed range.
Would you ever have dreamed that you would have your own? It just happened.
I know. I thought I was pushing it when I put 12 in originally.
No, we love what you're doing. We can't get enough of it, which is really, really great. So to see you coming out with even more colors and more inspiration in your designs is very exciting. And
I'm not going to drop any colors neither. I'm not into that. So you know, I'll just continually add to the range. So how long I end up doing this and how big the range is, I don't know.
Giant range, I hope one day. So the book and the yarn are all launching on May 1st. Is that correct?
On my website on the 1st of May. And there'll be some new kits as well. Some of the designs in the book, not all of them, but some of them. So
and we're hoping to do some kits as well as soon as we can. That would be good. Well, Marie, thanks very much for spending time showing us. You're welcome. We love seeing your designs and your creative mind, and I'm sure we'll all be knitting designs from Cumbria very soon.
Well, I hope like it. Well, I like it. So. I mean, it always amazes me because I'm in a very privileged position. The fact that I can design things that I like myself, and that people happen to like them too, and I just think that's great.
It is great. It is great. I think it's very special that you get to follow your own dream, and that that you get to do that. But it's also you share it with us, and I think that's really, really important. So well, thanks again, and we'll be talking to you soon.